Hi folks, welcome again to the channel. Juan here from Physical Media EU, and today we have this version of Minari to review. Hello again, and thanks for tuning in. And as I was saying, today we're reviewing this German version of Minari. But before we start, I would like to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in physical media, especially about the Blu-ray reviews and also soundtracks in vinyl, as you can see. You can also find me on Instagram with the same handle, Physical Media EU, where I post detailed pictures of the items I review. Now let's move on and begin with the review of Minari. So first, I want to show the cover here, and here's the back. As you can see, the content is written in German. This is a German version, and then on the inside we have the disc and the cover. The cover comes with these these badges, right, with the age restriction and so on. So those badges actually come on the outside, but it's a reversible cover, so you can like flip it, right, and then you get a clean version on the front, and then you keep those on the inside, right? I think it's very nice because those badges, of course, are needed, but also very ugly, and they kind of ruin the cover. And talking about that, Minari has other versions, right, in which most of them, they have the classical cover, which is not this one, but they list also the awards the movie won and quotes from film critics and so on. I think those things like ruin the cover of the film. So I wanted to have this movie, but those other versions were so horrible that in the end, finally, I found this version with this alternative cover. It's very nice, and even though it has mentions about the Oscars nominations up here, it is much more subtle. I think it doesn't ruin the cover. So, talking about picture quality, yeah, this is a Blu-ray, so nothing that spectacular, of course. It's not a 4K, but I think Minari is not the kind of movie that demands such a big quality transfer, right? Like a 4K. So the movie actually looks very good as is in Blu-ray. The colors are very nice and is bright enough, I think. So actually, yeah, like didn't even think for a second about like that this movie would need something better than this Blu-ray transfer. Now, regarding languages, as I said, this is a German version, so it has of course the original audio in 5.1, but it also has a German track. Also, subtitles, there's in English and in German. The subtitles are quite needed because even though the movie is mostly in English, it also has several parts in Korean. So the English subtitles, I think, were quite needed. And besides that, this is a Region B locked Blu-ray. So if you're in Europe, this will play in any player, but if you're outside of Europe, then you might need a multi-region player. Lastly, about the bonus features of the disc, there are some featurettes, actually 4 of them, if I'm not wrong, and also making of the movie, which was also very interesting, I think, which I found very, very nice to hear. Also, it has parts of interviews with the actors, and they talk about what the movie meant to them. There's also some testimony from the director, which was a very nice insight because the story of the movie is actually based on his life. That's something that I didn't know before I watched these extras. So there's always something to find in watching the extras. Besides that, there's also 2 trailers, like a German one and the original one. There's no difference between them other than the first 2 seconds, which show some text in German. So yeah, like I almost always say, I think the trailers doesn't really count as extra content. I mean, it's nice that they are there, but you can easily find them on YouTube. So yeah, they don't really add much. And I have mentioned before about the other versions, the other Blu-rays, right, with of Minari with those ugly covers and so on. But that's not all. If you really like this movie, you can also get some of the Asian releases, which are by Nova Media. You can see some of them here in the corner. Those versions are actually very, very nice. They include booklet, steelbook, and so on. So those versions, if you like this movie, those are the versions to get. But of course, the price of a standard Blu-ray versus a deluxe release is of course significant. So that was it for the review. I hope you liked it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also following on Instagram, where I will post detailed pictures of this release, and you can see from previous ones as well. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you have watched this movie, what do you think of it? Or maybe if you have one of those fancy Asian releases. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all at Okie Dogs.